How is web performance analysis traditionally handled?
Traditionally, operations teams have been doing performance analysis by either looking at all the network elements or being able to really do network analysis. For example, how many milliseconds or seconds does it take for a page to load all of the elements or objects on the screen, and really count the time it's spending on the network.
But it's largely network-based, is that correct?
It's largely network-based, and it's also very clean room-oriented.
Okay.
Where you think about a lab, where you've taken out all the variables that might be ruining your experiment, and really try to get a baseline and repeatable measurements that you can baseline on and be able to tell how far are you away from that baseline.
How do you see that type of analysis evolving in the near term?
The biggest change that's upon us right now is the fact that the performance analysis really goes from the network to the browser.
Right.
And that's a huge direction that we've always been a proponent of for about a dozen years.
So the web timing API, is that a key to moving it to the browser? Is that true?
So there's two keys. One is that you have to measure using real browsers. And you can do clean room measurements without the web timing API, and you can do that from a real browser. That's something that Keynote and other companies in our ilk have done for about a decade. What the web timing API does, it's sort of like the browser's talking to you, and the browser's collecting various points in the experience of loading a page, such as when does a page begin to paint, when does it become interactive, like you can click on a link. And those are metrics that are really browser-based that you typically don't have access to. And the web timing API is making that possible.
Last question for you. How do you see the combination of that traditional network-based clean room analysis that you're talking about and the browser-based analysis? How do you see that shaping the operations space?
The biggest change I see in the operations space because of the web timing API is the fact that the conversation is no longer going to be about, well, it took 3 seconds for the network to respond. It's going to be around, well, what's the actual user experience? What is the web timing API telling us?
Interesting.
Is it taking 6 seconds to load the page? And what about paint time? If I'm going to wait 2 seconds before the page actually paints, that's a long 2 seconds in today's world.
Yeah.
So the conversation is going to move.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks.